Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we're doing another one of these kind of, I don't know, rare occurrences where I'm actually interested in backing a Kickstarter. And the one today we're riding the hype train all the way to is the 7th Citadel, which is I would say like a spiritual successor to the 7th Continent, a game which we've played through on the channel. I've spent many hours in that game system all this year, I believe. And those playthroughs are linked down in the video description for those that want to watch me struggle around the island live. Well, previously it was live. We will be playing it again in the future, so don't worry about that. There will be some coming up, so make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, so you don't miss when we go live in the future with some more 7th Continent Curse playthroughs. But hello everyone, thanks for joining live and hanging out with me here for this. We did this for Frosthaven. We did this for Massive Darkness. There have been others. I've done this like in the past, long time ago, but I've been doing these lately. You guys seem to like them. I think it's fun to kind of do like a live, let's get hyped for the Kickstarter, countdown to the launch, see what they've proposed on the page first day, see whether I should back it or not, whether it's worth the value, should we wait for retail, all that kind of stuff. We're going to discuss some of that today. We're actually, instead of starting 30 minutes before, as you can see, there's a countdown timer right there. I can't do this properly. Right there, countdown timer. Counting down in minutes until the Kickstarter launches, assuming it launches on time. Sometimes they're a little delayed, but it's scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern, so I'm doing it an hour before. Usually I do it 30 minutes before, but I was mentioning during streams over the last week, I kept mentioning they've been pumping out these adventure guides on Board Game Geek in the, I think it's in the general forums section, if you guys like to go read those on your own. But I figured I'd schedule it an hour early because I said we'd go through some of these. There's 7, and that's how many are in the series. I haven't read through any of them really. I kind of browsed through one like last week when I announced I was going to do this idea. But I'm going to spend an hour here counting down, well, less than an hour now, 56 minutes, chatting with you, getting hyped. We'll read through everything that the designers, developers, whatever you want to call them, designers, I think. The 2 designers put together a series. We'll read through what's new, what's different. This is in a whole new world. Obviously, they're using the same fonts and graphic design and art, so it's the same system, I believe. But we're going to dig in now and find out. Those who've already read all these, I'm sorry, it's going to be boring. Come back in like 30 minutes probably or so. If you're watching this in the future, the little timer at the bottom is to help you scrub ahead. If you don't want to be here and watch any of this stuff, you can just scrub till the timer hits 0 or whatever. But hello everybody, hello, everyone, gather in, pull up a chair to Rob's Gaming Table, come on in. Timer stopped. No, it didn't stop, it's just counting down hours and minutes. So I didn't want the seconds like, you know, constantly going on the screen, kind of annoying, in my opinion. But I figured minutes will at least kind of, the real reason I put it there, it's not to get the hype excitement going, to add coal to the hype train engine. It's actually so I remember to switch over to the Kickstarter, but I know you guys in the chat will be reminding me when it goes live. But I do have the page up here. Let's bring it up on screen. All right. So for those that don't know, with Kickstarter, I have linked this in the description below. So if you want the Kickstarter link to the page, you can go grab it in the video description. Scroll down. If you're looking for the playlist links or anything, just refresh. I added them recently. But you'll see those in the video description, all the links for the stuff I'm talking about right now. You can go in here and you can click this saved button, or save, it's like says remind me or something. You click this and there's 14,000 something. I bet if we refresh there's even more. Yeah. So like 14,682 followers right now waiting to be notified when it launches. I think you have to be logged into Kickstarter to get these notifications, obviously, because I think it needs your email and stuff to send you an email letting you know the project's gone live. I should actually open my email on another page now that I have thought about that, because maybe I'll see it in there. But worst case, we can just refresh and check when it launches. So I think we'll do. Yes, the hype is real. All aboard the hype train, everybody. Whoop, whoop. All right, so as you see there, September 22nd, 1 p.m. Eastern in the right side. So we'll just leave this open. We'll come back to this. We'll refresh it. But for those that need this link, it's down in the video description if you want to read along with the Kickstarter when it launches. We'll be going through the page. We'll be talking about everything that's there. And we'll see if I care to back it or not, or if I want to wait and talk about it, think about it, sit on it, that kind of stuff. All that we'll discuss later. So let's go to these adventure guides. So I mentioned this like throughout a bunch of streams last week that I wanted to do this, start a little earlier for the live stream. We would go through each of these 7 adventures guides. I was reading some of them last week and I was like, man, this is perfect to discuss before the live stream as we sit here kind of killing time waiting for it to start. But I haven't had a chance to read through all of them or anything, so I'm going to go through them now. And I'm curious your thoughts on them, and if I missed anything or there's some information somewhere else on the internet that I should know, let me know. Bernardo's here. Greetings from Arrakis, the 3rd planet orbiting the star Canopus, enjoying a drink of my spiced tea, admiring the second moon's pattern, which resembles the mouse. Muad'Dib? I don't know that one, Bernardo, but welcome. Hello, Serhan. I would name everyone joining today, but it seems there's a bunch of you here, and the chat is going pretty quick here, but I do appreciate it. Hello, Kate. Velco's here, I see. Got the usual suspects, all with their credit cards, wallets ready, bank accounts, you know, ready to be drained by Serious Poulp, the publisher of 7th Citadel. Rob, not insta-back it. Well, let me read through this stuff here. Let me read through the adventure guides or whatever by the designers. This might totally get me all in. But I don't know what's changed. I just know it's a different world. They're experimenting with stuff. This is not go back to an island, get rid of a curse. This is like a fantasy world of some kind. I mean, the art, the logo, everything. When I first saw this, like they had a booth last year at Essen, I think. They've been talking about this project online for a while. I know some of you guys were mentioning it to me in our live playthroughs of 7th Continent, saying 7th Citadel is coming, probably later in the year. It's going to be like a year or two in development after that. So who's here excited and can't wait till the launch of the Kickstarter so you can wait some more? I'm not really excited to wait more. Hopefully it's not that long out, but it'll probably be at least a year, plus the 6-month Kickstarter delay. Standard delay time minimum. So let's see here. So this is from Ludovic and Bruno, the designers of 7th Continent. They're reminding us about their Kickstarter. So in the summer of 2015, in the weeks leading up to the launch of the first Kickstarter campaign for the 7th Continent, we posted a series of articles on Board Game Geek to showcase some facets of the game. The series, titled Adventurer's Guides, was a huge success at the time. We're excited to repeat the experience and advance to our upcoming Kickstarter campaign for the 7th Citadel. If you don't know about 7th Continent, please go there and buy it. Please. Okay, and we go on to the 7th Citadel. Has a lot in common with its predecessors, like the 7th Continent. It's an exploration game in which you'll experience an adventure over time, gradually building the game board with numbered cards. Okay, so we're playing the role of librarian here. Old school librarian from the 80s, where you can, you know, go through your little card stacks, find the card stack you need to sign out the book, you know, that kind of stuff, or in those card catalog drawers. Let's see. So we'll build a board with numbered cards like the chapters in game books, which you are the hero. You'll undertake dozens of different actions: fighting, lockpicking, climbing, casting spells. Okay, we're going more in my fantasy realm, which I prefer here, but to overcome challenges and obstacles. Importantly, though, the 7th Citadel is, here we go, big thing. This is why it's not insta-back right away for me just by hearing the name of this project. Like, that it's from Serious Poulp is never an insta-back from any company. Companies can have amazing games and make tons of garbage games. For every, like, one gem game a company puts out, there's garbage games. Like, every publisher you can name has some games they kind of regret maybe doing or didn't really pan out as well as they would, and they kind of forget about them and don't mention them because they're a little embarrassed. Every publisher has that, unless it's like a first-time publisher, obviously. Serious Poulp, they have other games. You go to their website, there's other games listed. I don't know what they are. I've never heard of them. But anyways, you never insta-back anything. That's the way I look at it. It's got to be new and fresh. Also, it's just more of the same. If you've already played out 7th Con and you're like, I'm kind of bored of that system, kind of bored of that game, maybe you don't want more of the same. So maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, who knows. But anyways, it is not a sequel to the 7th Continent. Oh, man. Checking the chat here. No, Sajah, I didn't get anything from Serious Pulp. No playthrough prototypes. No, nothing like that. I'm sure today we'll see some playthroughs and stuff launched. If they did do that, you'll see. Check on YouTube, search like 7th Citadel. I'm sure today is like the NDA would go up, or we'll see on the page. Maybe we'll see on the page, the Kickstarter page when it launches live in like 48-ish minutes. We'll see some links to some other YouTube videos of people who have like little demo scenarios and stuff. But my understanding is if you want to see a demo of this game, just go watch any 7th Continent video, like anything on 7th Continent, because it'll probably be similar. This is a brand new game that benefits from notable evolutions, both in terms of mechanics, evolutions in mechanics, and the universe. The 7th Citadel takes place in a post-apocalyptic medieval fantasy setting. So we're going in the world of like Tainted Grail here. That's kind of interesting. 7th Continent, Tainted Grail obviously heavily inspired by 7th Continent. Now 7th Citadel heavily inspired by Tainted Grail setting. Is that how this is working? Just kidding. All right, and Ludovic and I have both taken and continue to take great pleasure in creating this original universe from scratch. The story takes place in the Kel Protectorate, one of the most powerful and hegemonic, I'm sorry guys, city-states in the land, which has been ravaged by 7 decades of conflict against a formidable enemy, the Burrowers. Okay, so we got tremors. We got some tremors. Big sandworms. We got Beetlejuice sandworms coming from the ground here. Controlled by a mysterious individual, these giant worms tirelessly dig tunnels until whole swaths of territory collapse, sowing destruction and desolation. After years of helplessness, the Protectorate finally found a defense against the scourge in the Necro Druids. These men and women renounced the sacred principles of the Druidic order to give birth through forbidden blood rituals to a wide variety of monstrous plant creatures capable of fighting back against the Burrowers. Okay, yeah, this is way out there. This is nothing like Tainted Grail at all. So far, this is crazy. I like how unique-ish sounding this is, unless there's something else that this is very similar to, I don't know, but it is in the Citadels. Okay, where Citadels are a core focus here. The sources of the Necro Druid's power that you work as a slave gardener. Okay, we're a slave gardener, tending to these plant abominations, so their seeds can be spread across the territory to protect against the Burrowers. As a slave gardener, you hope daily for death by accident or exhaustion to relieve you of your burden. Okay, so you hate life. You definitely hate life. Look at this. Look at this. What the heck? What is going on here? I like art that just intrigues me. That it's like, okay, I need to play this and find out what the hell is going on here. Look at this. What the heck? Okay. The world today is clearly not the world your fathers knew. The Kel Protectorate is bathed in a constant gloom, suffocating under the clouds of dust belched up by the Burrowers. In fact, it is so vastly different from before that it is now more commonly referred to as the collapsing lands. The plant monstrosities that were supposed to protect you have spread, often out of control, and now threaten humans and Burrowers alike. As for the worm controller and their indoctrinated henchmen, no one has seen them in decades, despite best efforts of the remaining leaders of Kel to track them down and put a stop to their foul work. Nice art as usual, but this art's obviously very blown up, and the only art you'll really see in the game, at least I assume if it's like 7th Continent, is on like tiny little cards like this. So it's like, you know, you got cards, like they're decent size, but they're small. So like all this beautiful art you see blown up on a Board Game Geek page is gonna be like shrunken down nice, you know, it looks fine, but it's just, or in some cases you'll see it spread out across multiple cards. That's true too. You'll see it spread out across multiple cards. So you may put a bunch of cards down that build this art up. There is that possibility. Yes, John B. Exactly. Trip Lock by Chip Theory Games is one I think of when a publisher makes amazing games, but like everyone tries certain games that just don't really work out sometimes. And yeah, but yes, I got Trip Lock 2 now. I also entered that giveaway on their last episode of Chip Theory Games TV or whatever it's called, and Mel entered too from a different room. We didn't even talk. We didn't know. She entered, I entered, and they sent us separately both two copies of Trip Lock and 2 different versions of Game to Pick a Game. That was pretty cool. I didn't expect that for them. I thought they would at least ship in the same box or tell us, sorry guys, only one of you can win from the same house. But they didn't care. They just shipped us both, which is cool. So we gave Triplock to a friend, a copy. So you'll see Triplock on the channel eventually. We'll take a look at that game. And yeah, Sujat saying, I think Rob will pledge for this. Yeah, probably. I just don't know. Like, we'll see what packages, what levels and stuff. So I'm curious, like, should I just back the base stuff like I did in the second 7th Continent campaign? Just get the vanilla stuff, a couple expansions maybe. Will they have a Kickstarter for this next year after it delivers, or 2 years from now after it delivers, offering a more refined version of the game with an expansion and all that kind of stuff, which might be better to buy than even that version. They goofed up a bunch of cards and they had to send out like a giant card pack to replace. That's kind of a fear to like back a Kickstarter right away and not like the second printing or the retail or the second Kickstarter. You'll get lots of like typos and misprints and quality control issues, I find. So that's also something that might be kind of sucky. Which could ruin, in this kind of game, could totally ruin the game. If you're just playing along and you're afraid to Google spoilery stuff and you just hit something that doesn't make sense and doesn't work because it's a typo and it's broken. I'm a little worried about stuff like that, but yeah, they're good at fixing issues like that, so it just might take some time. So the 7th Citadel begins with an introductory scenario called A New Beginning. When it starts, you have been held captive and forced to work as a slave gardener by the 7th Citadel for 7 years. And the world is at a turning point. Major changes are coming. Over the course of the campaign, you'll take part in these changes, which will eventually bring a threat down upon you, unless you perish first. You'll be forced to face it and either win the game or succumb to the threat. So very similar kind of, you know, looming theme threat, darkness kind of idea. Things are trying to kill you. You start the game by choosing your character. Each one has the optional personal quest in addition to the threat you choose to play against. It looks like 2 characters with the same name, different miniatures. So it looks like a female and a male version. Is that what it's doing here? Kasich is one of the characters you can play as. Everything is the same here, right? Yeah, it looks like it's the same except for the miniature and the art. I'm assuming this is on the other side of the card, probably. Whoops. So Kasich joined the ranks of the last Legion of the Bow, driven by a sense of duty as well as a desire for wealth. The plains of Nazib, the Sunset Mountains, and the new forest of Kartimak, countless incomparable battlefields, combat, blah, 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 blah. And his or her personal quest. So it's got like a little backstory there. I won't read that. If you guys want to read more of that stuff, you can read it later. To me, it doesn't, yeah, I don't really care. In search of answers. So you have your own personal quest. I like stuff like that. I like stuff like that. Like Gloomhaven, you know, you got a little personal quest you're trying to get done. Unlike the 7th Continent, the 7th Citadel, each character has their own action deck. Oh, okay, now we're going like, yeah, okay. So in the 7th Continent, you had some cards that were your own. But then you all started with like a lot of common cards, right? So in this, it seems like it's going to be more skewed and more like asymmetric, more like refined to yourself, like more personalized to your character. And you can customize it with cards of your choice before you start the adventure. Yeah, okay. You're gonna suck on your first playthrough and you're like, I don't know what is what and which cards are better than others. But after you die your first playthrough, this is awesome for like, all right, that card sucked, let's try this one, So that stuff's cool. Oh, it was card color was off, Battlecry, right? That's why they sent out that giant white box for me to replace like almost all the cards in my set. I don't know what that was when that showed up. I wasn't following Kickstarter updates really, so when that showed up, I was already like dabbling with the game, and then this white box showed up, and I was like, what are all these for? Did I miss some stretch goal thing or something? But yeah, then I read the link and I was like, oh man, that's a blunder. Oh, and size. Oh, okay. I didn't have them sleeved, as you guys know who watch my playthroughs. So I was lucky. It was just, I literally carefully was like, I already had them all sorted. So I had to like take all the 7th Continent cards out. But I did it section by section and just made sure all the cards matched. And that the second printing that I got in the white box wasn't missing any cards. And then I didn't throw out something, you know, so I did it like super careful. All in, says Nick. Hey Nick, how's it going? You know you want to. I always want to, but do I need to? That's the real question nowadays. Like, I have to really think, like, is that extra money to go all in or add on add-ons of add-ons to throw add-ons onto the order of extra content? I have to justify, like, realistically, I've now seen what it's like over the last year of doing this YouTube thing and playing games more often. Even though I have more time to play the games, I still have games that pile up, I don't get to, take longer than I expect to learn, play, get on YouTube, play them. Even ones I don't want to play on YouTube, that I just play with friends and family that I don't think are right for the channel. I still have tons of games sitting there, not tons, but a bunch that are staring at me, and I'm still selective with it. I'd pass on games at retail, I pass on games on Kickstarter, I even pass on games that publishers try to send to me. And I still have a backlog that I'm like, it stresses me out trying to keep up. So when I read a Kickstarter, it's like, okay, I can spend $150 Canadian, or like 100 whatever US to get a game with shipping. I have to realistically think, like, what other Kickstarters are coming at the same time? What Kickstarters I'll be seeing between then and now? What other games will hit retail? You know, what are these publishers that don't go to Kickstarter? What do they have in the hopper? And what other games do I still have to play? Will I really go through $200 to $300 to $500 worth of a game's content? Or will I most likely go through $60 of that $150 content? You know, like, that's how I look at it now. And it's like, if I'm not going to play all that expansion stuff, or, you know, get to that next level and add on all the extra stuff to change up the gameplay and variability and variance and all that stuff, you know, and upgrade the game, like, do I really need the plastic bits for this, or the, you know, extra tiles for that? I got to be realistic with it. Like, you know, I don't have endless pockets of dough either. So it's like, I have to really justify, like, spending that extra money. If that could get me 3 other games, or, you know, and other experiences, I might go that way instead. So all in is usually a tough sell for me. I usually never ever go all in. I've done it in the past a couple times, and in all cases, every single case, I never played through the extra stuff. I never got to that extra all-in expansion stuff. I played enough of the game, I kind of got bored, and another game I moved on to. And the worst thing, sometimes these companies have another game coming out. Like, it's the same publisher. For example, CMON's the worst for it. You go all in on a game, you start playing it, you try to get your friends lined up to play it, you want to play through all the expansion stuff. Before that's done, their next Kickstarter is at your door, and you're like, oh, I forgot to back that one too. Then you put it on the shelf, and you're like, I'll get back to all that stuff. And you've probably played through like $60 of the $300 of the all-in content, and then you're on to the next game that you did the same thing to. And it's like, that happened only so many times, and I went, hold on, pump the brakes. I haven't played through all this stuff, so like, why do I keep doing this? Like, and then I just started waiting for retail for a lot of things, or just backing the like lowest level pledges for that reason, because I just get the taste and I'm on to the next thing. Like, nobody has time to play this stuff all the way through, unless you really only back a couple games a year. Maybe your Kickstarter and your board game budget is very slimmed down. Maybe you don't have so much time to buy other games, so you just buy one game a year, play the crap out of that one game all year. That makes sense to go all in all the time, right? Or if you're a miniatures collector, whole different story. But yeah, that's my thought on Kickstarters now, and that's the kind of mentality I go into it with. So like, I do always want all in, but realistically, do I need all that stuff? Will I ever get to it? Will I care? Is it just going to take up more shelf space? Am I never going to get to it? I don't resell any of this stuff either. So I know a lot of people go all in because they know if they play a little bit of it, it's like renting the game. They'll play through like the base game and go, oh, that was fun, I'm good. And then put it online as opened, you know, used, gently used, all in Kickstarter, and they'll make a couple $100 on eBay, or, you know, or they'll get their money back. But I'm not a Kickstarter flipper, so I don't do that stuff. I want to make sure I'm in to it. So this sounds good. I like this so far. There are just many ways that 7th Citadel differs from the 7th Continent. And we'll share some more differences in a few days with the next adventure guide. Okay, so that's that. We'll close that one. Let's go to the next one. See if we can get through them all here. I need to timestamp this and listen before I back anything. Yes, Mike, yes. I can talk you down. I can be like, over the last 5 or so years, I've gotten a little more like financially more responsible and educated myself a little more on things. And yeah, I try to be more like smart with it and sit back and not like, yes, I drive the hype train sometimes with certain things. I put hype train glasses on and I just get in and I'm like, if a certain theme is on a game, like I'm the worst. Game of Thrones, you put that theme on something, yeah, I'll buy it. Sure. Yep. Oh, it's a Candyland version with Game of Thrones IP on it. Yeah, I'll buy it. It's Game of Thrones. I'm an idiot like that. Unless it's like Game of Thrones Monopoly. That's worse than Candyland, so I wouldn't do that. Just kidding. But yeah, I'm bad for that stuff. But certain things, it's like realistically, like I just played a bunch of 7th Continent. I still have so much more to play, and I didn't even go into the second wave of stuff yet. I haven't even bought any of that stuff yet, and I want to still get that stuff. So it's like, but realistically, will I have time if I buy that 7th Continent stuff to play that before 7th Citadel comes, or before Frosthaven comes, or before Oathsworn comes, or before so many other games come? And I like playing through full campaign games too. That's another problem. That's why I don't back as much, because one campaign game will keep us busy as our primary game for like months. If not just weeks, but months, if not a year. So that, you know, like realistically, I could buy like a legacy game and a campaign game for the year. That could be my only 2 new games, and I would have enough content to play all year if I went through everything in the game. Yeah, so I gotta think like that. I don't know. All right, so this one is called Adventure Guide Chapter 2, Less Survival, More Adventure. Oh, Mel's here. All right, Mel, if you're around when this Kickstarter launches, I'm gonna need some input. I'm gonna need your stamp on the how much funds leave the account. Just kidding. I mean, sort of kidding. And Nick says, I get it. I have a mountain of games that will be coming in around the same-ish time. Some moderately on time, and others have been delayed with COVID, etc. It's going to be overwhelming. Yeah, anyone who backed anything before COVID, there was like a bottleneck that happened, right? With all the production, the factories, and all the shipping. So everything's kind of like in a backlog now, trying to get on ships and get here and get produced. So you're not only going to get games that you backed like this year and last year and the year before, they're all going to now kind of flood around the same time as catch-up happens. So yeah, everyone in 2021 is going to be sitting there from like late 2020 to like mid 2021 are going to be getting this like flood of Kickstarters that would have been spread out over a year and a half are going to all be coming within the same like 6 months or less. Which is another thing. John B is dropping the gold ideas there. Candyland Legacy simply uses real candy. You're instructed to eat the candy to remove it from the game. And you go in the game store and like each box of Candyland Legacy has like an expiry date on it. This is a like $1 million idea right here. We keep joking about, but somebody will do it. Somebody will do it. You'll see. Oh my god. I have a meeting in 2 minutes, so don't go toward the light, Rob. Yes, Bernardo. Mel, he's all in. Make it happen. The cool part is, too, it's not just for me to play on the table. That's the other thing. I love your guys' input and everyone who watches, because if I realistically, like, I don't just value will I play this game. It's like, will you guys watch it? Will people enjoy playing this along with us live? Or, you know, would this be fun for the channel? I have that also in the back of my head that I think about with certain games. Some games I just back because it's like, okay, I'd love to play this with Mel, or I'd like to play this with my family, or I can bring this over to family functions and play this with non-gamers and try to pull them into the hobby. And then some things it's like, would this be great for the channel? Would this, you know, will I want to play this many times on the channel? Stuff like that. So I have like all these other kind of crazy things involved. But the cool part is, don't give in to the FOMO. Serious Poulp, they tried to do that in their first Kickstarter. They said, we're never going to retail. You're never going to find this game. You back it now or you'll never get to see it ever. Buy now, buy now. And I said this. I went like this on your first Kickstarter when I saw it. I was like, no. Second Kickstarter came around. I heard reviews. People had it. I heard some real life people, not fake paid previewers. I heard some real life people saying the game's awesome. So I looked into it. I did more research. I watched some playthrough stuff and I went, all right, on the second Kickstarter, I'll just back the base stuff that people have played and said is good. I don't want the big white box of experimental stuff that sometimes you gotta watch out because publishers do a second Kickstarter. They'll just quickly whip up an expansion, maybe not care about it so much, just because the rules of Kickstarter, to get the same product on Kickstarter again, you have to add something new. So Come On will add like comic books. Some people will add on art books. They'll do these little tricks to get onto a second Kickstarter. And that's what I was worried about. So I didn't back the white box because I had played nothing from Serious Poulp. So I backed on the second Kickstarter just the base stuff, but I still wasn't like, I'm all in. I trust you guys. Like now I've played it, I do trust them more. But and I went through that Kickstarter experience where they replaced the cards and everything, and I was like, okay, that was good on them. But this stuff is now available. You can order it online anywhere. Some stores carry it. The classic edition 7th Continent thing came out. So I am never going to be like fear of missing out. If a game is that good, you'll be able to get it later. Don't be like, oh my god, it's Kickstarter only. Don't give into that crap. At least I don't give into that crap. So yeah, you're going to get the real talk here. I'm not doing fluff. Even if a company sent me stuff, I'm not giving any kind of like, yeah, you should back it all. You need this in your life. It makes it better. I'll never be that way. But yeah, so sorry if I'm slowing the hype train down a bit, but we'll see when the Kickstarter launches. All right, control yourself. I'm going crazy too. Alex, we played 7th Continent. There's quite a few people that watch us on the channel. Here on this channel, we actually play a lot of games that are campaigns and story and have spoilers and stuff. And I don't care. I'll play through it all. People watch us long. Some people never want to play those games will watch it. And some people like me, after you're done playing, especially with branching paths, you might not want to ever play the game again, but you're interested to see how it changed for other people and watch through. And there is an audience for that, or I wouldn't be doing this on YouTube at all. And it's fun doing it live so people can play along live and help us make decisions. So that's how we do it here. But yes, you are right. A lot less people will watch the later end of those trailers, or series of videos because of spoilers. So that's the thing. And the cool part is I'm in Canada, so I get it later than most people. So by then, even if we play it live when we get it, and lately I've been kind of delaying stuff as we get it because it gives time for other people to play it first before we start streaming it. So they can have a chance to not be spoiled. Yeah. And the cool part is, if you just watch like the first episode of our playthrough series, you'll get an idea of the game. And then if you don't want to watch the rest, I'm totally okay with that. Totally okay with that. That's why I do it. It's fine. Totally fine. You don't have to watch through the whole thing. All right. While exploration is still the heart of the game, where the 7th Continent is focused on survival, the 7th Citadel, while still demanding, is more oriented towards adventure and storytelling. So to me, this seems like it's not as hard. They're not going to make it as punishing, maybe, but still demanding. So it's like a little bit less survival, maybe, more about just having fun and going through the story. So when I compare it to like Lord of the Rings, Journeys of Middle-earth, adding that like adventure mode, because people kind of wanted more adventure and storytelling, less survival, less, you know, threat, less timer, less stress. This seems like they're going more that adventure route, but probably still going to be tough. Each adventure in the 7th Citadel comes down to the form of a threat. I just said that, it's crazy. That players will have to overcome after several scenarios and many hours of play. Okay. Whoa. A new beginning, the introductory scenario. Look at this stuff. That's cool. All right, this is cool. Cover of the introductory scenario, new beginning. Another difference from the 7th Continent has to do with where you can camp, between scenarios. Instead of only sleeping in the wild, you now have a base of operations, in quotes, at the Citadel, where you will start and end most scenarios. I say most instead of all because it's possible to unlock new adventure starting locations, and sometimes a story branch will take you directly into the next scenario without going back to the Citadel. Okay, that's cool. So it's kind of like Gloomhaven. You can go back to the city, or sometimes scenarios connected where you just, you know, you can go from one scenario to the next scenario and fight a boss instead of going back to the city and hitting a road event and that kind of thing. So as you progress through the adventure, you'll earn the ability to upgrade your Citadel and build buildings. So we have like a base building game here. They've incorporated that, and that can grant you powerful effects. More on that in the future guide. Okay, so it's got like the Frosthaven kind of build up your city kind of thing. That's cool. Seems to be the rage nowadays. We're playing Aftermath right now. This has that whole mechanic of building up your base. I dig it. I dig it. Each scenario sets one or more objectives and allocates a certain number of life points to be shared as equally as possible between characters thanks to a personal life point counter. Thus, where a solo player will have 80 life points at the start of a scenario, 4 players will start with 20 life points each. Oh, and here's a render of some kind of 3D printed looking life tracker, which hopefully if they don't go by their other plastic components, those miniatures, and they don't make this so small that you can't read the numbers. Hopefully they make this like normal size for hands, you know, normal hand size, I should say, not super tiny, to cut costs on plastic. Each character now has a personal action deck from which they regularly draw cards to resolve actions. When the deck is empty or almost empty, the player may perform a recovery action to reform their action deck by shuffling the discard pile back into an action deck at the cost of 5 life points. So you can pitch 5 life to shuffle your discard back into your action deck. But when you reach 0 life points or less, you become unconscious. Once you are unconscious, you cannot act, but you are not quite dead yet. Indeed, as long as at least one player is conscious, it is always possible to return to the Citadel. Okay, so it's going to be a little tougher if you're playing like solo one character, but you do have more life points. So hopefully this doesn't happen as often. There are different ways to do this, with walking being the main option at the beginning of the adventure. Winky face. Returning to the Citadel will end the scenario. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. We'll give you a chance to get back on your feet for the next one. You will also discover the consequences of your actions, which will vary depending on whether you achieve your goals before returning. In the 7th continent, your survival is linked to the constant management of the common action deck, whose exhaustion meant that death was imminent, and now you might have to start the game all over again. Ooh, players had to feel themselves regularly. Yeah, we know all this from playing it. Yep, you die, you start all over again. That ticked a lot of people off, actually. I read a lot online after I played the Voracious Goddess. And people are hating on that one a lot, and you guys are talking about it in the chat. It's like a very bad snare to start with, because it's so harsh. And yes, I read a lot online when I was researching the game too. People were like, that starting scenario is enough to make people just put it on the shelf after you die and never play the game again, which was too bad. And it took them till the second expansion to kind of add a better starting scenario, I guess, but still. Hopefully they learn from that mistake, right? The world of the collapsing lands offers a different kind of challenge. Food is relatively plentiful, and the equipment is usually too complex to make yourself. It would take weeks, not to mention a great deal of skill, to make your own chainmail. Coming to the brink of exhaustion might mean that you fail the scenario, but this will not prevent you from continuing your adventure. You won't have to start the scenario over again when this happens. Your story will continue, but there will be consequences for failing to achieve your objectives. So kind of like Lord of the Rings Journeys to Middle-earth, for those who've played it, no, you can fail, but it will affect your next scenario, but it doesn't make you like replay the scenario over and over again. And I find that beautiful in that game that they do that. More modern day video games do, right? They don't like kind of kick you back to the start level. You got checkpoints. You kind of have to do the same thing over again though, so I guess that's not a good comparison. Yeah, the Crystal Song scenario. That's why they made that one. Yeah, in the second box, right? Yeah. But that's too bad. For some people, that was too late. For some people, that was too late. They probably lost a lot of people that will never play that game again because of that experience. I know people personally that played that and sold the game after. I know when I played it for the first time, 3-player, and then tried it 2-player, we didn't get very far, and I wasn't really drawn by the game. I put it back on the shelf for like a year or more and didn't pull it out until people were recommending to play it solo. And I went, all right, I'll try it one more time. And if I really don't like it, I'm going to give it away or sell it or whatever. And I fell in love when I played it solo again. I went in it with a different mindset though. Like obviously a couple of years had passed since getting it and that kind of thing, but and playing with you guys was more fun, obviously. That was definitely more fun. All right. Another difference is that the world is populated with dozens of non-player characters, NPCs as they like to call them, with whom you can interact via a book of dialogues that is divided into numbered chapters. Okay. So we have a book, right? This is not just a card, right? A book of dialogues. This better not just be another deck of cards. I don't want to be sorting through a deck of cards, kind of like Aeon's End, where you like read a little bit of story and you got to flip the next card and the next card and the next card. I hate when they put tons of story on a bunch of little cards. I like having a book. If you want to go heavy with the text, blow it up, put it on a page in a paper book, and I will read it. I'm getting older, my eyes aren't as good. No, I'm just kidding. But so chapter 10 in the book of dialogues. Okay, that's cool. They're adding a book. So it'll be a little more story. You won't have to like just discover it, I guess, through cards, which is neat. But that was kind of cool in the last game. So in this dialogue book, you have access to a dynamic dialogue choices that vary depending on what you decide your character says, as well as the tone they use. Oh man. So this is like those like BioWare RPG style games where you walk up and it's like, all right, here's what they say. What do you want to answer? Most dialogue options will be final, meaning that the players will not be able to go back unless they have skills involving the use of magic. You do like the little red eye from Men in Black. You like shine this light in their eyes and they kind of forget what you said. And you'll only be able to see one of the branches of the dialogue tree during an adventure. Okay, so replayability right there. This feels a little-ish more like Tainted Grail. Like they got the whole Tainted Grail thing going on here. Because obviously that That worked. Finally, let's talk about the duration of the game. A threat from 7th Citadel is roughly comparable to a curse from the 7th Continent, but since the game is less punitive, die and retry, you'll be able to play each threat for more than 10 hours without having to restart the game due to premature death. Yeah, okay, they listened. They definitely listened to the complaints. They're like, all right, we need to rework this. That's cool. Unless you stubbornly make counterproductive choices and fail in everything you undertake. Or if you're playing on Rob's gaming table and your chat keeps making you make bad choices. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Just kidding. Each threat is made up of multiple scenarios. I'm assuming that's one game session. It's supposed to be like a scenario probably. And most scenarios can be wrapped... Oh, here we go. I should just keep reading. And most scenarios can be wrapped up in an evening of play, allowing players to continue the adventure at the next game session. Unless your game sessions like mine on the channel are like 7 to 9 hours long, you'll get to play like 3 or 4 scenarios in a day maybe. But you can also have the mid-game scenario using the same system as the 7th... Sorry, you can also save mid-game using the same system as 7th Continent. I like it. I'm ignoring all the Robin Mel made me buy it stuff. I'm ignoring it. I see you next time for a peek. Okay, so let's go to the next one. We'll go to number 3. This one's about individual action deck and skills. So we're going to get more into the weeds here. The creation of your character and its evolution is one of the big new things we've been working on for the 7th Citadel. Gone is the shared action deck where your character skills are merged with everyone else's. In the 7th Citadel, player plays a unique, capital letters, character with their own personal action deck. At the beginning of the adventure, you choose your character and there are 15 basic skill cards. These cards are pretty much the same from one character to the next, but the nuances depending on whether your character is a hardy man, an experienced older woman, or a spirited teenager. So how is this different then? Because normally you do have your own action deck that's unique, you have your own cards that go in, and you mix it with basic cards. How is that different, or am I not remembering correctly? This feels like they're just kind of twist the marketing a little bit to make it sound like it's different, but I'm feeling the same vibe here. But I like the idea of choice. I guess you can choose which cards go in. That's the big difference, I think. George says each character will have a different deck. Did they not, though? In 7th Continent, was I not putting cards with the character's face in the deck as like their own specific deck that went in and mixed with a bunch of basic skills? Oh, it's not one deck with unique cards added to it. Oh, it's one deck versus... I get it. Okay, I get it. So it's multiple decks. Yeah. Oh, it's there. I get it. There are 15 basic skill cards. I get it, guys. I'm sorry. I get it. I see what's happening. Okay. All right. Continue on. I get it. I see what I did. I was reading wrong. I was not comprehending. Not a single pool. Yes, Doc. Okay. In addition to these 15 cards, each player freely chooses 5 additional skills that will give shape to their character. Want to know how to pick locks? Opt for lock picking. Want to summon magic shields to prevent damage? Choose the force field. Cool beans. I like it. Oh, I see these stars. I see the stars, the half stars. Oh, memories. Bringing back memories. Nostalgia's flowing in here. Okay, yeah, it looks like the actions are similar. The little things here, you got lock picking or whatever. Okay, that's cool. Cool. So each of these skills is unique. If you choose a lockpicking skill, you may not be the best at convincing an audience or climbing a steep cliff. It's up to you to decide what kind of character you want to be. In addition to the effects of these cards, which will give your characters a sense of direction, we've implemented a new class icon system. Most skills, especially advanced skills, have either 1 or 2 of the 4 class icons: Cunning, Martial, Leadership, and Arcane. I like it. These examples above, the force field skill provides 1 arcane class icon, while the lockpicking provides 1 leadership and 1 cunning icon. Ah, I see. Many skills and items, among other things, allow these class icons, when revealed during an action, to become additional successes, canceling damage. This weapon transforms cunning and martial class icons into successes. Oh, I see. Okay, so that's what that symbol is. I get it. So you can transform that icon into a star. I get it. I see. That's what this little symbol, line, arrow kind of thing is. May not obtain more than 2 successes in total this way. Yeah, I like it. It's a little different. It's cool. I like that they're evolving it, like they said. Over the course of the adventure, your group will acquire advanced skills which offer new effects and always have class icons. For example, when you perform the action of lockpick, spot, or convince, the advanced skill, No More Secrets, turns 1 cunning, let's see if we can get this on screen, 1 cunning class icon into success up to 1 success, up to 1 success, and or 1 arcane class icon into 1 success up to 2 successes. Thus, a character with many cards providing arcane and or cunning class icons would be much more effective with this skill than one who is focused on martial class icons and skills. I see. Or max 3 if your proficiency level is at least 3. Okay, I'm intrigued. More about advanced skills in a future adventurers guide. Okay, coming soon. All right, we'll be there. You'll be faced with many difficult decisions, such as choosing between a skill with a powerful effect and one with a weaker effect, but 2 martial class icons. Those martial class icons are particularly precious if you want to wield an axe with both hands. Far from your typical class archetypes, warrior, mage, and healer, found in most medieval fantasy games, the 7th Citadel, you can create the character you want. A teenage master of the arcane has no equal when it comes to using a slingshot, an eloquent adventuress able to sneak in the shadows, or an aged chiseler who can summon creatures to assist them. Who do you want to become? I want to become a warrior mage. Just kidding. All right, so let's go to the next one. Board gamers aren't generally into roguelikes, says C4. It's a very popular video game genre. It is. It's something that's come out over the last, I don't know, what, decade and a half? Roguelikes. There have been roguelikes. They just weren't really defined as a roguelike. But yes, there's a lot of board games are similar to that style. So 7th Continent took them by surprise. Yeah, I don't know if 7th Continent is a roguelike. Because it's kind of like the same world every time. I mean, things are placed differently, but it's not like procedurally generated the same. Yeah, I might be with George more on this. I wouldn't call 7th Citadel as much a roguelike. Roguelikes go with like, they like the world changes, like rooms change, enemies change. Like it's constant, like, you know, everything's kind of different every time. Sort of. There's always like that amount of things that have to stay the same. So in the island of 7th Continent, I would say the island's kind of like that. And just your encounters are kind of like randomly generated. But I don't know about procedurally generated though. Yeah. It's just a randomness. Yeah, there is some randomness to it. That's kind of all it is, right? Just randomness. All right, so Adventurer's Guide, Chapter 4, Streamlined Action System. All right, if you haven't already, please read the previous. We just did that. All right, just like the 7th Continent, players will progress through the adventure in the 7th Citadel by performing actions. There are dozens of different actions in the game. If you've explored the 7th Continent, some will be familiar, while others will be new. Cast a spell, dodge, greet, convince. There's going to be more like interacting with people and being social in this one. Not just burying the dead bodies of your friends. Sorry, spoiler, kind of. All right, but they all work on the same principle. I mean, that was your only like human contact, really, right? Kind of. Should stop talking about 7th Continent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. I'm assuming most of you have played by this point who are like very interested in the 7th Citadel. If you haven't played 7th Continent, go grab Classic Edition. It's not expensive. You can find it online in most countries available. $59 US. Go play 7th Continent. I recommend it highly. You'll be able to play through some of it before this even delivers. Or before the next Kickstarter comes where you can then get in on this too. Okay, each turn, one player has chosen collectively to be the active player. This can be the same player from the previous turn as long as the players agree. If the players cannot agree, the player to the left of the previous active player becomes a new active player. Actions. All right, we're going to start skimming through some of this stuff. We have like 9 minutes till the Kickstarter launches, so We got too many to go through. So this is just talking about actions. Same thing. I'm looking for stuff that's different. Players with the 7th continent will have noticed the disappearance of the skill and hand size limit steps. Adding a skill card to your hand is no longer automatic. This now happens as a result of an action, and only certain actions will allow you to do this. As for hand size, you must now discard excess cards as soon as your hand size exceeds your limit. Compound actions. New feature. Compound actions. These compound actions are identified by the presence of a 6-sided die on the card with the action. They take place over several rounds, with each with a consequence step, and continue until the die is removed from the card. Okay. Compound action resolved over the course of several rounds. Oh, cool. Okay. That's cool. So kind of like putting dice on the items, right? You're just like kind of counting them down as you use it. Each success will still reduce the die value by 1, making your next attempt easier. If you're successful enough to reduce the value of die to 0, you receive the indicated reward for a successful outcome. This will usually allow you to move on to the next round. It might even skip a round or finish the compound action altogether. Okay, that's new. So they added the compound actions to make the game more tactical. I'm down with that. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 5, new hand and inventory management. We've done a lot of work to streamline the 7th Citadel just to simplify the action sequence while enriching it with compound actions. We've reduced the type of cards to 3 main categories: skills, which have a blue hand icon, belongings, which have a bag icon, and quest items, which have a notebook icon. Skill and quest items work almost the same way they did in the 7th continent. Skill, blue hand icon cards are held in hand up to 4 by the players. Quest item, notebook icon cards, common to all players, are stored behind the corresponding divider. But where the 7th continent has orange hand icon cards for characters and negative state cards, oh man, I hated those, and green for bonus cards, and dice icons for item cards, the 7th Citadel uses a single bag icon that represents all of your belongings. Okay. These can include items, quests, companions, and both positive and negative states, etc. etc. We've distinguished them using a keyword system, which gives you context to the cards. Keywords will also limit the number of belongings you can use during an action, and more generally, how many you can possess at once. And most belonging cards have at least 1 keyword. For example, a companion will usually have the keyword companion, while a shield will have shield and secondary. Oh, I see, armor. Oh, okay, so it's just an item in the top left, and it's an armor item. Yeah, seems clean. It's just a way to simplify things. Using cards. I don't think we need to care about how cards are used right now. Negative state cards. There are 4 general types: exhausted, injured, confused, and ill. Oh, fun times. Their bag icon is associated with the red lock symbol, which prevents the player from discarding them at will or giving them to another player. Oh, okay, okay. That's cool. Oh, I got some creepy art on it. I like it. Treasures. Yeah. What the heck? Gambler's boon. So they got treasures. All right. Excellent. All right. So that's great. Hope and Destiny. Collapsing Lands is a post-apocalyptic world in which the players are former slave gardeners and will relearn how to live at the head of a refugee community. Over the course of adventures, you'll gain hope cards, usually through certain feats of arms and completion of side quests. Just like experience points in role-playing games, you'll be able to spend the hope you earn on the Destiny page of the Citadel leaflet. Yes. Experience points, buying goodies. Love it. The Citadel leaflet is a shared document for your entire group of adventurers. You'll begin each new adventure with a fresh Citadel leaflet, which includes several useful pages to track your group's progress. On the sheet, the Destiny page is like a sphere. we have, in our own time, skimmed Spyra in the skin of Titus and his gang, in which you'll be able to spend hope and tick boxes to unlock different types of bonuses, of course. You can only tick a box, starting with the one in the center, if this is adjacent to another box that has already been ticked. Okay. Okay. So you need to pick paths. You need to pick paths. So if you want to go one path to try to get to something more on the outskirts, you got to start going that way. You can't, if you change your mind later, you'll have to like start unlocking a new path. That is cool beans. I like that a lot. Oh, it's a Final Fantasy X reference. Okay, I have not played Final Fantasy X. That's cool though. I stopped playing at Final Fantasy VI. Oh man. But yeah. Oh, that's cool. All right. I love it. I love this stuff. I freaking love this stuff. I play so many video games with this in it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm down. Oh, it looks beautiful. I can't wait. I can't wait to just kind of like flow through this little chart. Different every time we play. Can't wait. You can unlock a wide variety of bonuses. Acquire new skills. Yep, okay, we'll get skills. We don't need to read about that. Advanced skills. Okay, that's how we're going to get our advanced skills. We'll make our proficiency better, get better cards in our deck. Oh, here's the buildings. Okay, this will be the next guide. Sending emissaries to map the collapsing lands. You can unlock permanent bonuses. Increase your influence, knowledge, and defense production. Okay, and the last one here, I want to see this. Buildings. Building buildings. This is about the build stuff. First of these 3 bonus allows player to build buildings. The building pages of the Citadel leaflet list the buildings that can be built and the number of checkboxes on the Destiny sheet you'll need to check to build each one and apply their effect. Each of these buildings' construction cost varies from 1 to 3 boxes depending on the advantage to provide each building. So you can get a smithy. When you read the epilogue, players may unblock a total of 2 cards with the keyword weapon, armor, and or shield, or up to 4 if their proficiency level is at least 6. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is awesome. Okay, I'm down. I love it. I love this stuff in campaign-y style games, adventure style games. I love this stuff. I'm down. I'm welcoming everything I've seen. I like the way they did the evolution and they didn't mess with too many things. They tried to streamline things. I like it. I like it so far. I like that they're not like, we're going to flip everything on its head and make a, totally break everything and make people hate the game because they thought they would expect 7th Continent. They give you enough stuff from 7th Continent, all the good stuff, and they've tried to improve the stuff that isn't working well. And they've added stuff from the other big popular games. They saw what Frosthaven's doing. They saw what Tainted Grail did. They see these, they can learn from other people's games and kind of like pull and adapt those in and kind of make the best 7th series game they can at the time, which is kind of neat. I'm down for all this stuff. I've seen nothing yet that I'm like, man, they're idiots. Why'd they change this? Not a thing yet. And I like they're being upfront with what's different. And they were doing it ahead of time too. I like that. Oh man, look at this. What the heck is this? You will therefore want to send emissaries on the map to map the collapsing lands and update your laminated world map by inserting number cards in the laminated pockets. What was that game from Come On that did this? There was like an Eric Lang game that I was thinking of backing because it did that you like tucked in the plastic sleeves. I'm sure it hasn't delivered yet. F5. But look at it, there's a map. I'm down. I want to play with this map. All right, here we go. Let's just do it. Refresh. Oh my god. Tridvang Legends, right? Yeah, it's similar to that aspect, right? Oh, coming soon. Still coming soon. Look at the box. We got a box image. Was that there before? I feel like that wasn't there before. Or maybe I just didn't notice. I think it was just the art that I had in the background there. Well, it's 1 p.m. Eastern, and they're not ready. They're not ready. They're not ready. Oh, okay. That refresh took a little longer. I thought it was going to happen. So the Kickstarter did not launch exactly at 1 p.m. Eastern. It doesn't usually launch right away on most Kickstarters, but that's okay. 3 a.m. in Australia, Reese? Oh, man. Yeah, yep, I can see that, Alex. It is very disturbing. You're correct. We are ready, says Bill, but the Kickstarter is not ready. Is Kickstarter going to be crashed? Oh, it's up, says Conjay. It's up. $0. We're going to see it in Canada. Oh, yeah, I can change it. I can change it. Let's change it. All right. So we're going to go through it here. Yes, continue, please. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's take a little while to refresh for me here. Okay, Kickstarter's not broken yet. All right. Oh, here we go. Here comes the cash. All right. Can we? Let's see. I want to watch the video. I don't think they had this trailer before, right? Let's see if we can get the video going. I don't have. Not making any noise for me. Let me see if I can. Oh, that's gross. Okay, let's see if we can get the sound to work. Oh, I don't hear anything. There's probably noise, but I don't hear anything. I'm not making any noise out of my computer at all. Oh, let me try again. Oh, there it is. See if I can make it so you guys can hear it. Yeah, I'm getting sound now, but you guys can watch this. It's like Eric Summerer from the Dice Tower, like voicing over it. I'm okay. So let's check out the rest of this. Yep, same card system. We know this. It's all good. A miniature that's probably too small. This health tracker actually looks like it's the size of a card, like height-wise. So that's pretty good. We read all this stuff. Unveiling a board using numbered terrain event cards. We know this. Why pledge now? Because you can get pre-order bonuses, aka exclusive Kickstarter content. Receive all stretch goals, not free, but free, sure. Be amongst the first to play. Maybe, depending where you live. And experience the campaign with us. Okay. Sure. All right. So what's the amounts here? Collector's edition. That's it. One thing. Why is it showing euros here? That's because where they're showing. So I'm seeing 82 US. And I saw some of you guys saying $79.99, right? I'm curious. I have to look at Canadian, right? All right, available in English and French. Shipping charged after the campaign ends. So shipping, so $109 Canadian. Exclusive collector's core box, free exclusive expansion, all unlocked stretch goals. May 2022. Most likely December 2022. Most likely December 2022. That's crazy to me. I was joking before about waiting for the Kickstarter to launch to then wait for the Kickstarter to deliver. Waiting to wait. That's a long wait. Wow. I mean, it's almost 2021. 109 Canadian plus shipping. So shipping in Canada is going to be like $30 at least, probably. I would assume. Let's see what they actually say. See if we can find that. We'll go through the other stuff too. Canada, $21 to $24. That's probably American. So that's like US dollars, so it's in the 30s. It's going to be $30 or above, for sure. $30 or above, so we're looking at 140. 140 for a card game. I guess that has some miniatures, but I wouldn't call those miniatures if they do the same. Sure, there'll be lots of add-ons. Yeah, true. And then when you start adding add-ons, it adds more to shipping. Yeah, this is, I don't know. And they're gonna have big print runs, so I can't. I mean, that cost is okay, I guess. If you look at the amount of hours of play, if you actually like the system, you're gonna spend so many hours in this. So like $100, $140 Canadian is not that bad for the amount of hours you'll get into the game. Yeah. Yeah, Kate's right. It's probably about 150 Canadian when all is said and done for just what's here, like what we see. All right, let's go scroll through and see what you get. What do you get? How is it compared? I should bring up 7th Citadel and kind of compare it, but I mean the price is reasonable with nowadays. That's kind of like the price of these size of games, I guess. Oh, you can get a beta version of the rules. I appreciate that. So people did get the scenario A New Beginning and get to play through it already. I was not one of those, so I don't have it. But you can watch Jeremy Salinas play it at Man vs. Meeple. And he gives you his opinion of the game. But it might be a paid preview though, so you gotta watch out for that stuff. Oh, Rado, he'll have been paid for sure, so you gotta watch out. Limited spoilers, he tells you when to look away before revealing the main ones. Okay, so you can watch Rado run through it. And Adam Smith from Rolling Solo. So they have playthroughs, so you can kind of see how the base stuff works. So if you've never played 7th Continent, this can give you, like, if you need to see it played, this will help. This will help for sure. But just careful with like people's impressions, because most of these guys, you know, they get paid for this stuff, right? So you just gotta watch out. And it'll tell you when you click a video, right? It's like, at least most of them do it. Yeah, right here. So on the bottom left, you see Rado. He only does like paid promotions. So he gets paid money to spend his time with this game. I don't know if there's incentives on how well the game does, but you have to be careful when someone like Rado starts getting you excited for a game, because he's being paid to be excited for the game. So you got to be careful of that. But yeah. Pledges will be available in English and French. You'll be able to select the language in the pledge manager after the campaign ends. A collector's edition. You get an exclusive box that you'll have, and sure later at retail they'll come out with a different box, so you'll feel more special. Oh, you get one of these little box expansions. That's cute. And then you're gonna get a bunch of stretch goals. Optional buys. Optional buys. Premium card sleeves, which are probably from the same sleeve company they used last time, which I forget what sleeve company it is, but someone in the chat I'm sure remembers. I did buy those sleeves, at least the same company sleeves. I just bought the thicker ones from that same company, but you can get those same sleeves not through the Kickstarter, but I'm sure it's a better deal to buy in bulk here, but than to buy like one pack at a time from your local retailer. Nice, Sajat. Nice, yeah. Yeah, because Rado only picks games that he thinks will be interested in too. Like, that's the other thing. So even though he gets paid for them, I've heard him explain how he kind of like, if a company presents a game to him and he kind of looks at it and he's like, this isn't worth my time, he doesn't think he'll like it, he doesn't even usually bother with it. So that's why you won't see like negative opinions on his channel, because he usually already knows he's going to kind of like it beforehand. So that's a good point. That is definitely a good point. But all I'm saying is don't like be skeptical sometimes. Like don't just like, wow, yeah, this has to be great. You just gotta be careful, right? All I'm saying is just be careful. Like just know that going in. Hey Darren, we're doing okay today. Sleeve Kings. Sleeve Kings is not the one, I don't think, but that they are cheaper and they do make this size. Mayday. I think it's Mayday sleeves. I think it's Mayday sleeves. Oh, you get free foam blocks. Oh man. 2 foam blocks. Yeah, look at that. It's huge. That's huge. Okay, so stretch goals once they reach their funding goal. Did they reach it already? Did we reach it already? No, not yet. I'm gonna refresh though. Sometimes this little counter thing gets like kind of bugged out. And for some reason it likes to jump back to show the money going up. Because I think that's like a gimmick to make you feel like, I need to get in. It's like a hype thing. But almost 2,000 backers. Maybe 2,000 in a second here. So I'm sure it'll fund in a few minutes. Probably in the next 15 minutes, I would assume. All right, so we're good with all this stuff. We read all about this stuff. 30 seconds to set up the game, 30 seconds to save it. Sure. 1,000 plus minutes of thrilling adventure per threat. Why don't you just use hours? But sure. They need to make the number look bigger. That's a cheesy marketing tactic. I think it's hilarious. Relive the sensation of the adventure books where you are the hero. No die rolls. The more energy you spend, the more you increase your chances of success. But the faster you'll burn out. And live a different adventure every time. There's countless surprises, and the game remembers your choices. Earn new skills, unlock bonuses, construct buildings. Your decisions determine your path. Choose your destiny. Yeah. So yeah, we know all this stuff, right? We know all this stuff. Yeah, they're using the same pictures from those adventure guys. They're just describing the same stuff. That's cool. Oh, here you go. We got your little skill tree, your destiny tree all like marked off here. Look at all these buildings. Oh man, that's cool. You can make a doghouse. Your map. So the collapsing lands are aptly named. Every step could see, what's this? On the Edge of Peril is an exclusive expansion offered in the Collector's Edition Pledge. This is Kickstarter exclusive. You get a little deck of cards, a little expansion. It includes 2 dividers, 30 cards, and 1 rule sheet. Okay, so just a little bit extra content to start, not to mention stretch goal stuff, right? Some of that I'm sure will be exclusive maybe. So Cabra makes a good point, and this is why I don't back a lot of Kickstarters either. 2 years from now is when it most likely will arrive, especially in Canada and some other countries that are kind of left to the bottom of the shipping tier. Because most people are using like Quartermaster Logistics now, and they ship from Florida to Canada. Like they use the same US hub to get to Canadians, and they put everything on a transport truck that goes by ground from Florida up to crossing the Canadian border to a FedEx hub in Southern Ontario, and then whenever FedEx gets around to shipping it, they'll ship it. So when you order Canadian shipping, or when you back a Kickstarter now for Canada, a lot of companies are using Quartermaster Logistics, which just means you're waiting for a truck to make it from Florida and get cleared by customs at the border, multiple skids of stuff, and then still drive more to get to some warehouse and then ship through another company. So it's like you're getting shipped twice. It's kind of weird. But that's why a lot of Kickstarters are being, Canadians get them like months later than the US gets stuff. Because once it hits Florida, it ships right to US residents. But for Canadian residents, you have like a few weeks to wait usually. Yes, yeah, that's what's happening now in the background, and it ticks me off. Like as a Canadian backing Kickstarters, most of the time it'll show up in retail, or I'll be able to buy it locally. Like if a retailer here backs the retailer pledge, I'll be able to buy it at my local retailer and get it quicker than if I wait for my pledges to go through Quartermaster. It's weird. I don't know why it does that, but that's just how it is. And yeah, I'm not a fan. And Quartermaster Logistic judges it's smart to put Canada in the back end of their queue too. The other thing Timeslayer they do is because they want to fill a truck, they will put, let's say they get 7th Citadel, they'll leave it on a truck, but they wait for another Kickstarter to come in or other orders to come in that they are going to Canada, and they'll wait till that truck is full. So that whole time US residents are receiving their pledges, there's a truck being filled up over multiple days before it even leaves Florida. So a lot of people have their content before it even starts the trip to Canada. And this is way worse with fun again. Oh, is it? Yeah. So yeah, this is why I get frustrated. So Sakabra being Canadian, you're gonna see this, and I would see this in like September at the earliest of 2022. So 2 full years from now, we'll probably see the game in Canada, if not longer. If not longer. But I don't understand that though. Why is it going to take 2 years when, like, what have they been doing since 7th Citadel up and down Kickstarter delivered? Like, wouldn't they kind of be done the game by now? Yeah, May 2022 is like best case scenario for like people living next door to the printer. that's what that says. Ah, that's rough. Ah, that's rough. I don't know what to say. Like, I'll probably still back it. The price isn't that crazy, but 30 something shipping I could save if I just waited and got it from a retailer. I might wait a couple days too to see if a local retailer gets it up in their store that you can order it through them, which happens here in Canada sometimes, and you can save on shipping completely. So also that's an option. Especially if there's a store pledge that happens throughout the Kickstarter, like a retailer pledge. You just find your local retailer and say, hey, go get the game for me here, and they'll go get it, and they'll save on shipping because it'll come through the normal distribution, which is cool. Yeah, Zeblik, the only problem with that extra shipping, you're going to pay like an extra probably $30 to $50 US shipping just to get it like reshipped from someone in the US up to Canada. That's the only problem, is like there's an extra cost on top of that. I've done that. We did that with Jaws the Lion. Thank you again to Conjay Studios YouTube for helping us out with that. Helping us get Jaws the Lion and not having to wait till it came to Canada. Oh, Kickstarter, the miniatures are Kickstarter exclusive. And you don't need the miniatures. FYI, standees are cool, I think. And these miniatures are like really tiny and not the best quality. At least if they use the same miniatures as before, like the same kind of miniatures. So here's your leaflet. Here's your laminated world map. You get your life counters. These cool looking dice. I like the custom dice. And over 900 cards. Free expansion. Free my ass. All right. Let's see. There's the shipping. That's about the guys. And Bree is the community manager. Okay. She'll be in the chat. She'll be in the comments. And that's it. That's all we care about. I don't know. So I'll probably back it. I don't really know if I'll back it right this minute. I'll back it later today, most likely. But I don't see why not. The shipping is like normal Kickstarter shipping for us. The only thing I'll be bothered about is when everyone's getting it in the US and I still have to wait like a month or so for my copy to arrive in Canada. That's the only part that's going to tick me off. But looking at the glass half full, that gives a lot of people time to start playing through the adventures before we start to do it live on the channel. So then people can have played through it and they know that they can watch some of it without getting too spoiled or spoiled at all, which I like. But I do like, yeah, I do like the one tier. I like this one tier they got going on. I do like this one tier. So what's everyone's thoughts? What's everyone's thoughts? In the chat, what are you doing? They almost hit their goal here. It's cranking up here in Canadian dollars. Canadian dollars. I want to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the chat. Let's discuss. Let's discuss. I want to hear. Am I missing something? Is there some reason I should back this right away for sure? I'll go all in. I'll go with the all in pledge. There's like only one pledge. I'm just kidding. It's all in right now. It looks like anyway, which I like that. I like the simplified stuff. These stretch goals they have, otherwise Kickstarter exclusive content does not make me to back it. Yeah, and waiting for stretch goals is a valid argument. Like waiting for stretch goals to see what they add. You know, is it worth it to buy in advance? Because those stretch goals, you know, if you wait, you might be able to get it at a better price later, and you know you might be able to save on shipping later. Maybe if it goes through retail. But you have to look at those Kickstarter exclusives, the stretch goal content, the free add-on expansion. Is that worth enough for spending $30+ or whatever on shipping? And maybe a little bit of an inflated cost because of Kickstarter? I don't know. But this is one, if you're going to back this now, it's set it and forget it. It is like, back it and forget the game exists. And I will forget it exists because I like it's not going to show up for like 2 years. But I think the price is okay. I think the shipping is fine. And I hope it backs enough that the stretch goals will just be cool. Like it'll just make the game even cooler. And I hope they have some cool ideas in there. And Time Slayer made a good point. He's okay with May 2022 because they likely won't get delayed. It's a realistic timeline. It's a realistic timeline, right? They probably added buffer in there for like issues and issues with printing and kind of, they've learned stuff from past Kickstarters. So hopefully they go through a better QA process and the cards don't get like messed up and they have to like send out corrections and wrong size cards, wrong colored cards, all that stuff that happened last time. Hopefully they know that and they built that stuff in. So they go through like the extra Q&A. I'm okay with delaying a game 6 months, a year extra to make sure that I get the product and I'm not worried about missing content in the box, typoed content, game-breaking stuff. Like we saw that with Tainted Grail. When we played through our top copy of Tainted Grail that we got in the first print run, there was game-breaking stuff in that rulebook. We actually had to talk to the developers or the designers and troubleshoot with them to go through the way we did to make sure we didn't break the game. And we were correct. They added FAQ entries based on what we had happen in our playthrough, which was kind of cool. And they're going to fix that in the future printings. But there was stuff that we went ways that like their playtesters didn't seem to go. And we kind of found broken like logic in their book. So that can happen. Playtesting, hopefully they playtest the crap out of this game to avoid that stuff. Because there's nothing sadder than you put in a bunch of hours and you hit a snag and you're like, oh, okay, we got everyone around the table and now we have to stop because we don't understand what's going on and let's go online and try to look it up. Let's send out an email, wait a few days for a response. Like that's a buzzkill. That's a huge buzzkill. So Loquitur Gaming saying something else you might like, Rob, which I do, is some advanced skill cards replace cards in your deck, not just add more choice for building your character. I love that stuff. I love that they're doing that. I already think I would like this game more than 7th Continent, based on what I've seen. I'm not sure about the theme, though. That's the only thing is, like, a little weird. Like, they're doing their own thing. It's going to be kind of, like, dark and strange and stuff. But I'm fine with that. It's different. It's definitely different. They put their own twist on it. I love it. I love that they do their own thing, so it's, like, different. Like, even though it's fantasy, it's different. Yes, Velko says, I hope the playtesters are paid well. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, hopefully a bunch of this Kickstarter money is going to help playtest the game more. And I'm okay. If they spend a year playtesting everything to make it the best product ever, and like a year on design, a year on playtesting and manufacturing and all that stuff, I'm okay with the game taking longer. I'm in no rush to get a half-baked game. I'm in no rush for that. Make a great rulebook too. That's another thing. Spend the time. Playtest your rulebook with the playtesters. Like, that's another one. Sajad says, Mel, what's your take? Can you confirm Rob is slightly ill with all these off comments? I like to just put a realistic spin on it though. But I'll back this. I'll back this. I mean, I'll just look at my local retailers. If one of them gets a pledge up there that I can pre-order it through a local store, I may do that just to save on shipping. And I may get it a little quicker that way. So that's the only reason I kind of would do that. But nothing here screams like, oh my God, this is out of control. This is a bad back. This is like totally fine. If you like 7th Continent or love 7th Continent, I see no issue here at all backing this game. You will get more goodness, and I think even more refined goodness. And they've learned from their mistakes, I hope. And I hope the new stuff they add makes the game even better. And I'm okay if they just copy stuff from other games that have done well and kind of mesh that with their unique little system. No complaints with any of that. That's all great. That's all great. What do I think the Kickstarter will end at? It's not a box filled with great miniatures, so it's already at a disadvantage there. But I don't know. 6 million? 7 million maybe? American probably? I should probably change that actually, right? I know not everyone here. We're a very international channel, that's for sure. We're not all about the US, but I know the majority of my viewers are in the US. So I should put on US dollars. Because I know that's what a lot of you see on your screen right now. But yeah. So US dollars. Google Poe is guessing 3.5 million. Alex says 1.5 to 2 million. I don't know. I could get the calculator up and do some math. But remember, there was like almost 15,000 people who selected the reminder thing. I know those won't all transfer into backers, and I know not everyone knows about that notification system. So, like, if only we're at 4,000 backers and we've almost funded, are we going to get up to 10,000 plus backers or more? Will they throw in add-ons and extra buys and another tier pledge that bumps it up even more? Because they do have additional buys as a listed thing, right? So who knows? Like, yeah, I don't know. I think over 5 million for sure. Time Slayer's saying 5 to 6 million easy. I'm going to bet 7. I'm going to bet 7, around 7, when it's all said and done. But also, I would say that the 2-year out is kind of worrisome. That might hurt them a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that won't. I don't know. It's realistic. Maybe people will see that as like a, oh, thanks for being honest. You got my money for being realistic with your timelines. Hopefully they don't announce right after the Kickstarter that's coming out in Walmart in like 3 months with the core set. But other than that, everything should be fine. Just kidding. All right, let's see. I just hope they beat Frosthaven. I don't think so, Sajat. I don't think so. I don't think it'll beat Frosthaven. Like this is a bunch of cards on a table with or without miniatures. This doesn't compare to like a dungeon crawler that Gloomhaven is. I don't think. Like I don't know. I don't know why Gloomhaven is so popular, but like man, I don't know if this competes. Oh, I'm not hearing the notifications. EC Bond, thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated. And Fernando Gamero, if I'm saying that right, I'm so sorry. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Also, Martin White, thank you for subscribing. Sorry I missed those guys. The sound, I have it down so it wasn't like playing the video earlier. I was messing with it. Probably. Oh, Jeremy's here. So Jeremy Howard says, I got the prototype right here, and it's a game changer versus the previous game. Like it really, Jeremy, it really feels that different? Like everything we see seems similar, but like definitely refined, evolved, and definitely improved. And Zeblik, thank you for subscribing too. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's funded. It's basically funded. Yeah, Jeremy, let us know. Wait, did you play it? You played it, right? You were in the videos, right? That we saw on the page. Let's see. Let's see. I think it said Jeremy from MVM, right? as I scroll and make everyone feel sick as I scroll too fast. I wish there was a link here so I could jump down to the section, but nobody seems to do that. Oh, Jeremy Salinas played. Ah, the other Jeremy played. Okay, I thought so. I thought I read that earlier. Ah, okay. So he says the world opens up differently. Are you streaming it, Jeremy? Are you going to be streaming it on Facebook? Oh, you're doing the solo live play. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. And where can we find that? Where can we find that, Jeremy? And I don't know if you can drop links, but what would they search on Facebook to find you if you're streaming it over there? Or should we just wait for it on YouTube? For those who are watching and interested in seeing a solo playthrough, you can check out Jeremy. He'll be playing it on Man vs. Meeple. I'm sure it'll show up on the YouTube channel, yeah? Oh, 2 weeks. Decided on the mid-campaign. Okay, cool. I look forward to that, actually. I look forward to that. I want to check that out. It's not going to change my opinion whether I back or not. I'm definitely backing, but yeah, that's cool. The 4th. Okay. So anyone on the 4th, search for Jeremy Howard. Will be doing a solo playthrough of this game, which is cool. But there are other videos you can check out about 7th Citadel right here, right now, too. Those are available, which is cool. All that stuff's on the page. And the goal is reached. The goal is reached. Let's get there. Just refresh. Yeah, so that's cool. That's cool. That is cool. All right, let's go. Okay, so I am just going to back right now. Why not? I can always change it, right? Before the thing ends. Give me a sec. Oh, never mind. I don't have my wallet here. I'll get that after. I'll do it after the stream. I'll do it after the stream. I'll do it after. Yep, I'm not prepared. I don't have my like stuff saved in the website. 900 cards. Yeah, I know, that's crazy. Nice, nice, nice. All right, all right. Oh, I think I'm getting a delivery. All right, sweet. Thanks, Mel. Yeah, give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm gonna just back it right now. Let's do it. Let's do it. What am I waiting for? All right, give me a sec. Give me a sec. Let me just. I just have to type in some numbers. I also have that like extra buffer of not putting in my payment info and saving it in Kickstarter's website, because then I may accidentally start clicking and funding things that I shouldn't be. So yeah. All right, just give me 1 second as I fumble. And no, I don't have my credit card number memorized. Try not to use it that often. All right. Yeah. Remember this card for future pledges. Never. Never. Don't worry, Tiny. You don't have to spend anything. You can just watch me play it live. And Animation Raptor, don't you talk about spending more money. You make me spend more money too. Get out of here. You're just as guilty. Don't blame your problem on me. Don't blame your problem on me. All right, so we funded it for 69 euros. I can tell my friends. I can tell my friends. All right, so we pledged. We pledged. All right, how do we get back? All right, we added to the madness. Yep, I'm a backer. I'm a backer. All right, we did it. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. We'll be playing this live on the channel in 2+ years. Set a reminder. Come back and you'll see us play it live. Awesome. Oh, man. Let's add the upcoming playlist now. Yeah. I'll schedule it now. What day in September of 2022 works for everyone? And don't tell me May. Don't tell me it's not coming out in May. This game, I'm not going to have it in May, that's for sure. It'll arrive in Canada in like September at the earliest of 2022. So, does anyone free? What time works for everybody in September of 2022? I'll book that in now. Only kidding. We're not going to do that. All right. There goes 150. See you in a few years. Yeah. Yep. Just make sure everyone you pay it off. Don't let the interest sit there on your credit card for 2 years. Pay it off now so you don't get killed for the interest. Jeremy thinks it'll deliver early. That would be a nice surprise. But not a realistic expectation based on other Kickstarters, right? Animation Raptor did his due diligence and pledged earlier. I'm sure you did. Oh, man. 27th? Yeah, Sakabra, 27th works for you? Okay, I'll book it in. Oh, man. Jeremy says the theme is very dark versus the previous game. I don't know. That first game's theme was very dark. Don't tell me it wasn't. That was very dark. Trying to be an optimist. Yeah, I'm here. I'm a realist here. I'm very realist. And it, being in Canada, there's always extra delays for us too. So I always throw those in there and kind of like to poke jabs at the Kickstarter delays. But realistically, I think this is a pretty realistic date. Like I think they did good putting it 2 years out. I just hope that doesn't hurt them, the Kickstarter backing too much. Like some people will not back because that is so far out. So yeah. 23 days to go. So you have 23 days. Go watch playthroughs on YouTube. The links are on the page. Go read the beta rulebook if you're not sure. Go read those adventurer guides that were on Board Game Geek. You can watch us play through 7th Citadel, or 7th Continent, sorry. I've linked videos to the first game if you're interested. Just watch like the first episode, but there's tons of spoilers. But we play through 3 different series of 7th Continent. We will go back to 7th Continent soon on the channel. So stay tuned for that. I'll be doing full curse playthroughs, like right to the end. No tutorial scenarios. We go right in all the way to the end. Dedicate the whole time. You guys help make decisions. Get involved. It's a good time live. So check those out if you want to know what the playthrough will kind of be like in the future. I've linked that down below in the video description. Doc says, Rob, are you on Hunter's AD? What is that? I don't know what that is. AD that's Active Directory by Microsoft, right? That's what AD is to me. We're back to Life Coach Rob again. Yep. Playing it right now. God damn it. Awesome. All you need is 7th Continent and Gloomhaven, and what's as good as these biggies? The Hunter's AD 2114. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know. It's that reverse. Is that the reverse? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Let me, Hunter's AD 2114. Oh, it's a second printing on Kickstarter right now? Oh, it's a late pledge. I've never heard of this. When was this? It ended in May 2020? It's this? Never heard of this. Matouge? Albright? Albrick? I'm not sure. The Hunters is right up my alley? Well, this looks like it is, just based on that image. Oh, man. Yeah, those minis melt. Good luck with those. How come this is all that I see on their page? It's not like... Blade Rollinger, thank you for subscribing. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, that looks cool. Yeah, the theme and the art, that definitely looks cool. Wow. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, yep. You, Doc, you speak the truth. Watch the playthrough by Dungeon Crawlers Anonymous. Okay, I will check that out. Let me put that in a notepad. Let me put that. Dungeon Crawlers. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Table hog, but fun as hell, says Jeremy. Mel would like this. Yeah, it looks like War of Mine. This War of Mine, right? Like it's definitely similar art, similar theme. This looks like the same kind of like your home base kind of idea. Yeah, that's cool. Yep, this definitely has like an Awakened Realms, This War of Mine kind of feel to it. It's the vibe. The theme of it gives me that vibe. Okay, I'll look into that. I will look into that. Yeah, has all the stuff I like. Hard map, adventuring, crafting. Yep, Mel's correct. We will look into this one. I'm gonna leave that tab open. Thank you, Doc, for that. I appreciate that. I can't keep up on all the Kickstarters. I just can't. There's too many. I just can't. It's yeah. So Tiny. Oh, I see. Tiny's answer another. Yeah, that's cool. All right. Yeah, Deus Ex. Like yes, exactly the theme of Deus Ex. Yeah, you're right, Jeremy. I see that. I definitely see that. Proud about that game. Proud about that game's been a while. Since I remember that or cared about a Deus Ex game. Hello, Infira. The Board Gamery, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Rob's Gaming Table. Pull up a chair. Pull up a chair. Come on in. Come on in. We're just riding the hype train for 7th Citadel, just launched on Kickstarter. Link is down in the video description for anyone who's just tuning in. I'm just looking through the chat, seeing if there's anything else interesting. What else are we talking about? We're talking about wrapping up the stream now, actually. We're going to be setting up later to continue our playthrough of Aftermath, 2-player. We're going to be doing that tonight. Tomorrow, I'll be back with some Marvel Champions. Midday, we're going to be playing solo with Doctor Strange, thanks to the patrons for voting on which Marvel Champion I need to open first and kind of learn and play based on all the content I got. My Marvel Champion stuff has been collecting dust, I'll admit it. And I just got the Hulk, Doctor Strange, the Rise of Red Skull box, and Black Widow I hadn't played yet, but now I have played Doctor Strange a bunch. I've played some of the Rise of Red Skull stuff. What we're going to do tomorrow with Doctor Strange, I think we're going to start a Rise of the Red Skull campaign solo. And we're going to try that with Doctor Strange, see how far we can get. So tune back in tomorrow for that. And then we are playing tomorrow evening. We're going to play a game that's coming to Kickstarter tomorrow, I believe. We're going to be playing the, it was a Kickstarter game, Shaolia, Warring States, if I'm saying that right, which we got the deluxe edition of the first Kickstarter. It's coming back to Kickstarter for another print run and another expansion. We've played that a bit already. It's a pretty cool game, so I'm going to show you guys that tomorrow evening on the channel, so you can check that out. But yeah, it's a pretty awesome game, so I'm looking forward to show that. We have tons of other live streams scheduled for later in the week. Just click on my logo down in the bottom below this video. You can go to the main page, youtube.com/Rob's Gaming Table. You can see all the upcoming live streams. You can set reminders, or you can subscribe, hit the notification bell so you do not miss when we go live in the future. We'll do more of these Kickstarter kind of hype launch live discussion things in the future for any Kickstarters that cross my radar and get my attention and that kind of stuff. But we'll keep it kind of a rare thing and do it for the special ones that come along that I think would be good for the channel or that I'm really interested in. But if there is anything, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If there's other Kickstarters I should be checking out, drop them down in the comments. Let me know. And let me know if you backed 7th Citadel and are you hyped for it? I'm assuming you are. Are you sad that it's going to take like 1.5 to 2 years or more to come out? I'm curious. So yeah, Sajat says, see you for ISS Vanguard in a few weeks. I think the next, I don't know about that one. I'm not sure about that one yet. We got the art book with Tainted Grail. It looked interesting, the art, but I don't know anything about that game yet, so we'll see. The next one I'll probably do it for, so far right now, the next Kickstarter on my radar is Burn Cycle by Chip Theory Games. I'm super excited for that one. So we may do like kind of a hype launch thing for that. I'm very excited for Burn Cycle. Everything I've seen about that game looks super cool. I'm excited to see more information as the Kickstarter comes in October. I think that Kickstarter is, right? By Chip Theory Games. October 6th is going to be another big day. Oh my god, it's too many Kickstarters. Too many Kickstarters. Oh, problems. Successful Geek, how's it going? My poor wallet is burning today. Oh my. Oh, you never played 7th Continent. Oh, okay. Okay, well, you have time. I would recommend, if you are excited about 7th Citadel and you like what you see, I would go look into the Classic Edition box from Serious Poulp. Go on their website. It's like $60 with shipping, or plus shipping, I think, to just play some 7th Continent, try it out, play through a couple curses before you get 7th Citadel in a couple years. Oh, you watch lots of our 7th Continent. Okay, never mind. You know all about it then. Oh, it's Alex's birthday is what we're celebrating. Oh, on October 6th. I get it. Oh, man. Let's see here. October 6th. Okay, I now got to go look into what you're hinting at, Jeremy. I'm now curious. Oh, Frostpunk. Ah, Frostpunk's another one. Yes, I'm super interested in Frostpunk. Goggle Poe asks, are you in Toronto, Canada? We're in the time zone of Toronto, Canada. We're like an hour and a bit west of Toronto. So we're in the area. I do go to local game stores. A lot of the local game stores I mentioned are in Toronto, and I do drive to Toronto to go visit those stores. But yes, we are near Toronto, Canada, yes. Yes, Frostpunk. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks for reminding me about Frostpunk. Not impressed. Thanks for reminding my wallet, my credit card, that that's going to happen also probably. So yeah, stay tuned for October 6th. Yes, that's exactly why I have that face. I'm excited for games like Frostpunk, Burn Cycle. Yes, Sakabra, Hoplomachus next year. That's going to be my opportunity to get in on the Hoplomachus series, which I've avoided till now. But that's, I think, a good time to jump in. Yeah, those are the main Kickstarters that are like on my radar right now. But of course, so many. The Horizon Zero Dawn, I passed on that because it's a Steamforged Games game, isn't it, Doc? The Horizon Zero Dawn. And just because of my experience with the Dark Souls Kickstarter and that, I just decided to like not really back anything Steamforged Games for the foreseeable future. Yeah. I might pick stuff up at retail maybe of theirs, but I don't want to ever get in on one of their Kickstarters ever again. I don't see, unless they've changed practices and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy says he'll never support them either. Yeah, they like, I don't know. I don't want to get into it here, but I love Dark Souls, the board game. I just wish a different publisher produced that game, that's all. All right. Well, that's going to be it for now. I got to take off. Got to get ready for the stream later today and streams for tomorrow, too, to prep for that and other streams later this week. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We're going to take off now. But yeah, thanks, everyone, for watching live. And leave some comments down below, like I said. For those watching later, I want to hear your thoughts on 7th Citadel. Was there something I missed? Was there some reason I shouldn't back, or I should, or some other cool stuff? We could talk about stretch goals and stuff, too, that will eventually come on the page. Did they announce any yet? Actually, now that I'm saying this, I want to check. Are there any stretch goals? No, I don't see any right now, but I did refresh. Anyways, we'll talk about this stuff later. We have a Q&A stream, actually our monthly Q&A coming up this Saturday, where we can just chat about anything, random Kickstarters, the channel, take questions and stuff. So if you want to join me for that on Saturday, and Mel will be here, we'll be doing one of those live Q&As that we do every month. So tune in for that. We can talk more about this Kickstarter. We can bring it up, kind of look at the stretch goals and stuff, and that'll be on Saturday. But thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day. We'll see you in the next live stream. Bye-bye.